That person screwed me over. That person let me down. And you know what they told me recently? They literally told me this recently. Get over it. They said that I should get over the fact that they screwed me over all those years ago. And you know what? I should. I should get over it.
You think?
But the problem with getting over it is that I can't just continue to associate with them after I get over it. Because if I do get over it, they're just going to do it to me again.
So instead, I'm going to obsessively make videos on everything he's self-conscious about, even though he has body dysmorphia, and I fully well know that.
They're going to continue to let me down, they're going to continue to be fake, and that's the thing with YouTube, guys. I take it very seriously. Like, making videos, I take it very seriously, because it's a big deal. I'm emotionally connected to this. Some people may think that this is just a job, but this is my life. So yeah, I can just get over it. But that means I'm never talking to you again, or about you.
Oh no, that would be such a shame. Because no one wants that to happen at all. No one's ever wanted that to happen.
Good riddance, I'm sure. So I'm just gonna get over it.
I'll really have to see that to believe it, buddy. It's only taken you many years to come to that decision that everyone else has already come to. Yes, it seems like we are here again, my friends. How many times now? How many times does this have to happen? How many more times? Why do you still do it? Everyone hates it. No one wants it to happen. No one. But yourself. What? But why? Why do you keep doing this? You just have no sense of privacy. You have no sense of respect for anyone. God damn, let's roll that intro. Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Phyzik Talks. If you enjoyed this one today, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. We are so close to that 1k mark. Only 79 more subs to go, so please help me out if you haven't subscribed already. I'm going to be doing a special for 1,000 subscribers. I haven't quite thought about what I'm going to be doing yet, but I'll have a little think about it. So today, I can't believe we're doing this again. Well, actually I can. I'm really not surprised at all. Luckily, the Onision Speaks channel isn't behind a paywall, so we can get an interesting insight into this one. This video is really interesting because it is so littered with his weird black and white way of thinking, his bizarre contradictions and hypocrisy, so I thought it would be a good one to talk about. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one.
Hi, so I'm super upset. I talked to somebody whose name I'm not going to say last night through like 30 emails, and I concluded some of the following. When I say concluded, I mean it's beyond clear that this is how things are. Firstly, you're not allowed to say that anybody is ugly when you think that they are ugly. You're not allowed to do that, apparently. Like, if you have a friend who has another friend who is ugly, and you know, it comes up, their appearance comes up, and you say, well, I think they're ugly. That's the end of a friendship, apparently, because this person that I talked to last night said that they could never be friends with someone who would call their friend ugly.
Already you're being incredibly unclear and vague about what you're talking about. Are you talking about calling a friend ugly, or are you talking about calling a friend of a friend ugly? Or are you talking about calling a complete stranger that you don't know ugly? Because these are all completely different things and you'd have to approach each one in an entirely different way. So your black and white way of thinking is making this incredibly difficult already.
But here's the thing. I talked to two people in real life who also knew who that person's friend was. And they also, without my cue or anything, without me suggesting that they should say that, they said that that person's ugly too. You're allowed to have opinions, that's the point. And if you guys are like shaking your head at me right now, you're upset or whatever, this is the real world, okay? People see and people describe as a result of seeing sometimes. And when they describe that person, they should be honest and not sugarcoat things. Check out this Twitter poll.
Your evidence to support this argument is hilarious. First off, you said, I've spoke to two people, a whole two, and it was in real life, these people could be complete idiots. We don't know that. And then you go on to do this poll which says, should you sugarcoat the truth to spare people's feelings or just give it to them straight? That is so fucking vague. What truth are you talking about? This could be anything. I mean, if you're having to tell a child why their parents died, obviously you shouldn't just tell them bluntly the truth. Like, you need to be a bit careful around sensitive matters, especially when we're talking about someone that suffers with quite severe body dysmorphia, quite severe self-confidence issues. No, you shouldn't just tell them the straight truth at all. That is so damn vague, and you know it. That is an unbelievably stupid poll that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, that's just like, there's no incentive to lie on that Twitter poll. People make fun of whether or not Twitter polls are accurate, but the Twitter poll wasn't set up to push for one thing or another.
Are you kidding me? Obviously, all the people that have used this poll are fans of yours or friends of yours. It's gonna be incredibly biased, and people know what answer you would rather see, so obviously people would go for that. Your whole thing is that you're an honest person. Obviously your fans would want to prove themselves to you in some way or another, and that's a way for them to do it. It's incredibly biased, and it means nothing.
Like, when we say things bluntly, when we ask a blunt question and give blunt options to vote on, you're gonna probably consistently see people say the same thing, which is their honest opinion, because there's nothing to lose in just clicking anonymously on a Twitter poll.
So what? So if you give blunt questions and blunt answers, people are usually gonna pick the same thing because they're gonna want to be honest. What are you talking about? I don't know what any of... What did that even mean? What does that sentence mean? Does it mean anything? It's just vague words that mean nothing.
My point is, most people want to be told the truth. Most people don't want things, or at least idealistically, don't want things to be sugar-coated. But when you have somebody who's like, no, you can't say my friend is ugly, even though that's what you really think about them, and this came up in discussion, so you were compelled to say what you said, like, what are you supposed to say? You're supposed to say, they're not attractive. Okay, that's great.
Come on, seriously? What sounds better out of these two options? So, I was doing a bit of thinking, and I reckon you're pretty fucking ugly. I mean, you're just unattractive in every single way. Or how about this? So, I was thinking, maybe you could do something a bit different with your hair, I mean, it's kind of in a bit of a simple, boring style, you could do something jazzy with it, you could change your whole look. In what world, other than the world of Onision, is the first answer a better solution to this issue?
But what if there's more to it? What if they're like, well, are they ugly? Are you supposed to say no? Because that becomes a lie. So you just have to say what you think. And if that person can't handle it, then maybe they should work on their appearance more. Maybe they should groom themselves more, or change up their hairdo, or change up their outfit, or change up how they present themselves if they don't want to be perceived that way.
Yes, but what if someone does everything that they possibly can with their appearance, but they are just physically unattractive? What can you do then? And it's often the case that these are the people with incredibly low self-confidence, possibly issues with anxiety, possibly issues with depression. You know that you yourself have caused a girl to self-harm, all because you were way too blunt to an incredibly young and self-conscious girl. If that ever happened because of my actions, I would want to change that completely. Is that not enough for you to realise that you can't just be blunt with everyone, and it's actually really unfair to do so? No, you don't have to lie at all, but you don't have to be as blunt as possible. That's not how the world works, in case you hadn't noticed already. And that's often not what people want to hear. You should really just try to be as non-offensive as possible while still being as truthful as possible, and finding that balance is possible. You just don't realize that because you're actually quite attractive and you've never been through what these people have.
Abraham Lincoln said something along the lines of, by the time you're 40 years old, you own your face. Like, you are your appearance by the age of 40 because of how your personality moves your face, creates the wrinkles, how you do your hair, how you generally present yourself. So a lot of times if someone's ugly, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily permanently ugly for life. A lot of it has everything to do with presentation. There are a lot of actors who are ugly until you actually start to understand their personality and they become beautiful. But that friend of the friend, they have an ugly personality. They're annoying and they look ugly. They're just not a cool person at all. So that's why I say that they're ugly. And if somebody can't handle that, so be it.
Well, why didn't you just say that then? Why didn't you just say that you don't like their personality and you could have avoided every last bit of this? And that actually doesn't even sound like honesty, that just sounds like entirely your opinion.
Anyway, apparently I also said this.
If you ask me, I think he's actually kind of cute in this picture. And you know what? Bravo to him for losing all that weight. Thank you for giving me the opportunity you gave me way back in like 2010. I don't know where I would be today if you didn't give me that wonderful opportunity. Clearly, he's actually decently in shape here. Quite frankly, I miss our lunch conversations. We went out to lunch a couple times. They were really nice. Regardless, congratulations on all his continued success. You have an amazingly loyal fan base. Most anyone knows that.
But no, fat is out of the question. He's not fat.
Okay, Onision, that was 25 seconds of nice comments within possibly hours of videos absolutely digging into him in the most unnecessary ways. Like, no one wanted you to make any of those videos. You're an idiot for doing so. An absolute insensitive prick for making all of those videos, and you think that by making slight nice comments towards him that just erases all of that. No, it doesn't work like that. And I don't know anyone that describes them as hate videos. I do know a lot of people, however, that would describe them, like I did, as being completely unnecessary, incredibly rude, incredibly insensitive, incredibly offensive, and that is the truth. That is honesty. You're an incredibly insensitive prick. That is the truth. That is honesty.
Oh, sorry, that was actually just a montage of compliments that I threw at that person in regards to a video I made regarding their weight. But apparently all they can focus on is something I said about a disgusting body, which I can't find the clip, but as I conveyed to that individual directly, their body is not disgusting, and if I said something like that, it wasn't serious.
So by that you mean, I did say something like that, and I think I did on several different occasions. But it wasn't serious, so that makes it fine. Making rude jabs at him, as long as they're not serious, that's fine. Comparing him to Peter Griffin, that wasn't serious, so it's fine. I can be as rude as I want. Honesty is about being as rude as possible, about being as offensive as possible. Yeah, right. That, and you talk about this being the real world, and this is what happens in the real world, everyone's a f***ing moron. No, that's what it's like in the Onision world. Out here, the rest of us actually have a bit of fucking respect, a bit of respect for someone's space and their privacy.
But despite me establishing that that was not serious, and despite the onslaught of compliments I gave them, somehow I am not worthy of being that person's friend now.
Oh, it was an onslaught of compliments, was it? This really does sound like you're trying to use these compliments as an excuse for being as rude as possible. You're actually now making it quite clear that the only reason you put those compliments in those videos was to avoid backlash. You're a joke.
Through these 30 or so emails that we exchanged back and forth, I made a bunch of points about how they surround themselves with yes men. Like me personally, I have individuals on my Discord who regularly assault me verbally. Regularly. And a lot of them, if they see this, are nodding their heads because they know they give me a lot of shit, and that's totally fine. In fact, one of the first things that Ginger Beck said about me is that my head is huge. Thanks for that. But I'm not gonna not be their friend anymore just because they said my head is huge.
I'm so sorry, Onision. I am honestly, I am really sorry. I got it wrong. I didn't realize that jokingly saying that someone's head is huge, it is the same as creating tens upon tens upon tens of videos, jabbing into every last little detail, body shaming, fat shaming, and comparing your body weight to them to make them look as tiny as possible. I'm so sorry. I got it all wrong. Let me rewind and just cancel this whole video right now. That sounds like the right thing to do.
Because I'm not emotionally a 12-year-old.
I'm so sorry, Onision. I didn't realize that you were an emotional 12-year-old. If you were a bit upset with someone stalking you and obsessively creating videos about how fat you are to hundreds of thousands of people. I'm sorry. Okay, can you ever forgive me for that mistake?
And Becca Copsicle, she makes fun of my rosacea on a regular basis. So what? It's an incurable skin disease. Whatever, I'm not gonna be a total bitch about it and stop being someone's friend just because they made fun of my body.
For one, making fun of someone's rosacea is a pretty dick thing to do. Yeah, maybe it is fine for you, but obviously there are a lot of people that would find that a sensitive subject. Having rude jabs at something that you cannot change, that's pretty rude. Jesus, you're so blind to these things. It's really bizarre. Oh, and by the way, so you did make fun of him then? Because that's what you just said. You said that he shouldn't be a whiny little bitch because you made fun of him. Sorry, Greg, but you are probably the whiniest little bitch on the whole of the internet. You do really need to get over this. Get over it. He doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about your channel or your stupid opinions. Get over it.
It's crazy to not be friends with somebody who gives you the slightest ounce of blunt honesty or even just jokes about something.
What is wrong with you, Greg? You're so delusional. It's unreal. You're so delusional. Tiny ounce of blunt honesty? Tiny ounce of blunt honesty? You made so many videos about this subject. Constantly body shaming him, constantly fat shaming them. So to you, that's a tiny bit of honesty, and they didn't want to be friends with you after that. Jesus Christ, he is so justified to not be friends with you anymore. So justified. Not only have you been the worst friend possible, the worst person possible to this guy, but that's ignoring all the other terrible things that make you the awful human you are. He is so justified in that decision. Get over it.
Like, I get it. I have rosacea. I have a big head. I'm not gonna be in denial about that because it's true. If it's true, then that's just how life is. You accept it, and you accept that sometimes people will point that out. But around this person that we're talking about, apparently you're not allowed to be honest with them unless it makes them feel good and inflates their ego. That's insane.
No. 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 No, 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 no. It's not the tiniest bit of honesty. It's not that. Things would be so different if you were a normal human being. If you were a normal human being that obviously, as being a friend of his, you're clearly fully aware of the body dysmorphia he has. You're fully aware of how self-conscious he is. So, as a normal human being, a normal one, not a sociopath, a normal human being, would it be best to make as many videos as almost physically possible about how overweight he is to hundreds of thousands of people? Or do you think it would be a good idea to say to him in private, on your own, look, as your friend, I'm a bit worried. It seems like you've been putting on a bit more weight recently. I know you can be self-conscious about this. I know you may not want to talk about it, but from a friend to friend, I am worried, and it's just out of your best interest, you know. What? You're so f***ed in the head if you think that the first approach to this was the right approach to this. You're just as bad as Onision if that's the way you think. Anyway, there is more to this video, but I think I've said all that I need to, and I think I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to repeat the same things again, and that's no good for anyone. So I really do hope you've enjoyed watching today. If you have, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. I'm going to be starting my playthrough of the White Day remake. That is a Korean indie horror game, and for a while it was considered one of the scariest games of all time. We'll have to see if the remake stands the test of time. As well as that, I've got part 1 of my Silent Hill Al Camilla playthrough, which should also be a right scarefest. So thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next one.